Hey folks, my name is Pravus, and welcome to a new game called Worshippers of Cthulhu. This is a new city builder based entirely around Lovecraftian horror, where we will be leading a cult of fanatics in their attempt to awaken the Great Old One and ascend. Not usually the smartest thing to do, but they're cultists. And you know, it's kind of a fun little angle, something I haven't seen before, so we're gonna jump into it. I'm a big sucker for Lovecraftian horror. Controversy about Lovecraft himself aside, I think the stuff he created is pretty darn fun. Let's go ahead and start up a new game, and I'm gonna show you how this works. Now, there is a little cutscene here. I'm gonna kind of skip through this. Very much a Darkest Dungeon vibe in the art, but this does not carry on through pretty much the rest of the game, so don't expect it to look like this. The gist is, we are a bunch of cultists who realize that we are tiny, insignificant specks in the cosmic wind, and we shall transcend our pathetic existence by awakening Cthulhu. Again, like I said, not usually considered to be a good idea, but we're gonna go for it. Now, to do all this, we have to travel deep into the Pacific Ocean, where we believe the entrance to Rilya, the realm of Cthulhu, could be located. Didn't go great. We crashed our ship. That's fine. Now, one of the immediate things you're going to see here is, while I think that the graphics of these characters is pretty okay, the facial expressions as they talk, a little bit less so. The rest of the game looks pretty great, though. I think the graphics are solid. Anyway, there we go. That is the edge of his holy realm, Rilya. So let's start with a few basic and important things. We need to deconstruct our ship to get some starting materials, and this is a nice little starting obelisk. A main storage building carved with the symbols of the Ancient Ones. There's actually a lot of things we need to go ahead and start deconstructing, so that's what I'm going to do. Fortunately, the game really wants me to play with some tutorial stuff right about now, and that is because this is a demo version of the game, which, by the way, for those of you who want to try this out, there is a demo, at least at the time I'm recording this, available on Steam right now. So I'll have a link in the description down below if you guys want to check it out. Not a sponsor, just, you know, a thing I'd like to point your direction. Now, as we deconstruct all this stuff, not only are we going to make a little bit of space, but we're getting some key resources. What resources am I talking about? Well, right now, it's going to be planks. We need planks to construct just about anything, but if I were to take a look at, let's say, some resources here and open up this menu, you can see there are a number of different resources in the game, ranging from basic agricultural products to God's nail, whatever that is. We've got some iron, we've got some bedclothes and robes and clams and stained glass. Yeah, lots of different stuff that we'll have to worry about eventually. For now, though, planks are good enough. The game really wants me to go ahead and construct a lumberjack and a lumber mill to get things started, so we'll do that. Let's go ahead and start constructing a couple of buildings here. Lumberjack is, unsurprisingly, going to chop down trees, which is going to get me things I can turn into lumber. So we'll place down one over here, surrounded by trees. And then we'll place down a lumber mill, let's say closer to the main storage over here. Now, these are not currently going to get constructed because we do not actually have any builders at all. To fix that, we need to go ahead and build a builder's shack somewhere over, let's say, here. And we should probably go ahead and connect everything by a road so that builders actually can get around. Perfect. So now our builders are out and about in their little cart building things up. So now we have that, cool, but we don't have any workforce to actually do anything, and that's going to end up being a problem for us. See, right now we have 6 homeless citizens. Until they have a home, we cannot allocate them. We fix that by simply building up some housing, which I will go ahead and do over, let's say, right along here. Should be fine. Just wait for our builder to get over here, construct the home, and there we go. Everything is looking sufficiently creepy, by the way. That is a consistent thing in the architecture of this game. It's very Arkham. If you don't know what I mean by Arkham, that means you haven't played enough Arkham Horror or other such Lovecraftian tabletop games, and I feel sorry for you. Anyway, now that we have 3 homes, that means I have 3 workers who are ready to go. Let's go ahead and assign people into the different buildings. Again, the mouths are a little bit creepy, but the overall animation of the characters here seems like a kind of a nice little touch here. I'm glad they're not just a static picture. All right, so each of these guys does have some sort of a specialization associated with them. This guy is good at gathering clams. These 2 are good at working in lumberjacks. For now, I'll go ahead and assign you to work in the lumber mill, and then the other 2 folks can work over here to get as much lumber as possible. At the moment, they're pretty terrible at their jobs. Their performance is only at 13%. Big part of that has to do with things like the island's effect and the trees nearby boosting it, but we also have extremely low zeal. We have not met the demands of our people. That's going to be a problem. We'll fix it eventually, though. Nothing to worry about. Let's just go ahead and continue dismantling some of these buildings. In the demo, by the way, it's going to be very easy for you to think, okay, well, I've dismantled everything around us, and it's going to take forever to make enough planks to build things, and you feel like you're sitting on your hands. There's actually a lot more ruins out over here that are very easy to overlook, and the game doesn't tell you that. So if you find yourself with no planks, just go ahead and do a quick cursory look around the island, see if there's anything that maybe you missed. I know this because this is a mistake that I made when I first tried out the demo. I don't want you to fall to the same failure. Let's go ahead and build out a few additional houses, make sure that we've got as many workers as possible. If I could get somebody who is actually designed to work in a lumber mill, I would be happy with that. That's kind of randomized as far as I can tell what kind of specializations you're going to start with. There are ways to change it. It's a little upsetting and creepy, but there are ways to change it. You'll see. Anyway, we're slowly gathering logs. It takes like literally 2 minutes to produce a single log, and a single log then goes here to take like another 5 minutes to make a single plank. This is where I'm saying it can feel like the game drags too much. That's why all these ruins exist. Oh, look! I'm supposed to do something over here. Investigate the ruins near the mysterious hole with a very nondescript statue that totally doesn't represent anything important or scary at all. Right. This is where the game is now going to tell us about something called fanaticism. This is something that can increase or decrease, shown up over here, and you can see that there are going to be some different bonuses depending on what happens. Get it high enough, and we have an awakening to supernatural presences, which gets us some extra, you know, swim speed, apparently, more human immigrants, global zeal, and so on, and this just keeps getting better and better as time goes on. The more zealotry we have, the less immigration we're going to have, though. It scares people off. So at the beginning of the game, you usually want to have this like at an awakening level, maybe devotion, and then kind of like slow your roll for at least a little bit. Anyway, putting that all aside, you can see we've got ourselves a nice little event here, and this will occasionally pop up. To thank the Old One for allowing them to arrive on his land, your people prepare ritual firewood spires. Each spire holds 2 caught animals struggling against the ropes and a captive brought along during your long voyage. The young man screams with a torn voice, crazed eyes, and deep bruises on his body. You are asked to throw the torch to begin celebrations. We could release the sacrifice, get 1 extra worker, but then our fanaticism goes down, or we could just burn him. And of course, I'm gonna just burn him, because it seems like that's the sort of thing you're supposed to do. And it appears that Cthulhu is reacting to my offering in one way or another. Or at least something is, if it's not Cthulhu himself. Yeah, the submerged city of Rilia. Scary place. It appears I have passed out, because very scary psionic things happened after I made our sacrifice. But it did something for us. This now unlocks Eldritch Favor as a new mechanic. This is basically going to be your research in the game. As you gain favor, you will be able to unlock lots of new stuff, including some quests for the overall storyline of the game, but we could also get things like, you know, defensive towers, new temples, clam collectors, corn plantations, all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of research in the game. Let's start with the sacrifice altar, all right? We need to make more sacrifices to get more Eldritch Favor, which is shown over here. We could place this in this area. Sure. Now, this not only costs us some planks, it also costs us a currency, which we haven't seen so far. This is going to be our faith. So, I guess it's kind of like a coin, but I guess not really. Right now, it is slowly burning down. As we increase the zeal of our people, we are going to gain more faith. So just be aware that some buildings do have upkeeps to them. So you need to have lots and lots of zeal, lots of crazy fanatics in order to have enough faith to go around. How do you get more zeal? Well, we can talk about that in a little bit, but I'll just go ahead and show you now. In the houses, you can see some needs. For example, cooked corn, clams, robes, Elder's Temple, and a re-educator. These are all things that would boost up our zeal in one way or another. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those unlocked yet. The ritual altar is complete, though, which means that something new is about to happen. We have a weird little birdman thing flying up from the city. Oh, good lord, hello. Okay, creepy Cthulhu-y monster thingy. Got kind of a fun little effect on his voice, doesn't he? Think of this guy as like a sort of harbinger or something. All right, he's going to kind of guide us a little bit on what we need to do to make Cthulhu happy with us. Starting, of course, with more sacrifices. We can go to this altar and begin a ritual. Now, this is where we could start making things that we will sacrifice unto Cthulhu to earn his eldritch favor. Starting with the effigy of the First Awakened, which is basically just made out of planks. Now we have to fulfill all of these little requirements here, which is 7 planks in total. So this would let us carve an effigy, and this would be worth 12 eldritch favor when we sacrifice it to Cthulhu. We could boost that even further by spending more planks. And in this case, it's actually a very good deal. 5 planks for 12 favor is better than 7 planks for... Actually, no, it was 5 before, wasn't it? 2, 1, 1. I think it was 1, 1, 1, and 2, right? Okay, so 5. So 5, and then you can just double it, and then 6 for 14. Either way, point is, if you want to have a lot of favor, go ahead and carve something a bit bigger. Later on, we would also be able to sacrifice our followers, and their blood would please Cthulhu, but that's not an option right now. Let's go ahead and just carve this. Costs a lot of faith, but gets me a lot of favor. And it's because of stuff like this that you know you really need to start crafting as many planks as you can. We really need a lot of these things. However, while we are carving that, my people apparently have some complaints, or at least something they're thinking about. Let's go ahead and click on this bonfire over here. Look at all you silly plebs dancing around the flames. But you balk now at the holy task before us? They're scared of the Harbinger, and I don't really blame them. Maybe they thought this wasn't actually going to come to anything. Regardless, though, if we attend to their primal needs, that should shut them up so that they will be nice little dedicated faithful sheep. So now we need to actually meet these people's needs. And that means we need to get some things like clam collectors and stuff. We also need to get an eldritch temple, blah, blah, blah. Can't get that until we do a sacrifice, though, which fortunately is now finished. Let's go ahead and complete the ritual. Sacrifice the effigy unto Cthulhu and see if he likes it. Oh, I think he's excited. He seems a little excited. Yeah, if anyone doubted the existence of Cthulhu, they don't now. Right, cool. Well, that's a trick and a half right there, ain't it? Let's go to our Eldritch Favor, and let's start unlocking some things we know we'll need, like the Clam Collector, like the Elder's Temple. If I can get myself a lot more planks, we'll carve another effigy, because we're going to need a lot of this Eldritch Favor. Let's go ahead and start working on getting some Clam Collectors. Of course, this have to be placed on the shore, down over in this direction, so we'll place one right over here. And as far as the Elder's Temple goes, if we place this close to the housing, you can see that there's a little pyramid over some of them, as long as it's kind of close to them. When it comes to the road placement, this is going to boost up their zeal. This kind of affects the range overall of your temple. So understandably, you want to reach as many houses as possible, which is why you probably want to be building a lot of your homes in a good central location. Both of these are going to be very helpful to me because as I start boosting up people's zeal, their work efficiency is going to go up dramatically. In fact, we already see that starting to happen now that the temple has been built. We're up to 87% performance, which it says is perfect. Doesn't feel like it's perfect at only 87%, but there you go. So now it doesn't take nearly as long in order to make things like some logs. Instead of 2 minutes, we're talking 15 seconds. All right, that's why this is important. Assign some more workers. I'm going to change up some assignments here. You, Mr. Clam Guy, I'm going to swap you out. You're fired. Put this guy over here instead, and let's make sure we rearrange a couple so we can get a little bit more efficiency like so. Not that it matters that much, but I'm pretty sure the zeal goes up a little bit if they're working in their correct specialization. Now, I really wish I had a few more workers to go around. Alas, I do not. Whatever, it's fine. We could get ourselves another lumberjack, and at some point I am going to want that. We place that over in a corner over here. Once we get some additional people, I feel like having 2 working lumberjacks kind of seems to boost up your lumber mill efficiency a fair bit, because this actually works faster than you're able to produce logs most of the time. So 3 workers, maybe 4, should keep this going at all times. How are we doing on collecting those clams, people? Pretty good, apparently. We just met everybody's needs, because the quest is now continuing. Look at all the happy little cultists dancing around the giant fire. Discontent falls. Devotion rises. There we go. All right, and as that zeal goes up, you can also see we are generating more faith out of each of our houses. Not enough to make up for what we're spending right now, but it kind of gives you the idea. We're getting a little bit better. Hello, a ship! What are these poor little saps doing over here? Capture the ship! All right, a singular boat, badly beaten up, miraculously arrived on the shore. Its inhabitants clumsily exited to the shore, falling to their knees and kissing the ground. They talk of dreams that beckoned them here. Your priest suggests that you should offer some of them in gratitude to your lord for this gift. We could sacrifice one of them, the weakest, and gain some fervor. Or we could take all 12. No, I'm always going to sacrifice someone to Cthulhu. It just seems like the right thing to do. He is, after all, a benevolent god, right? Oh, sweet summer child, we are so going to die. All right, we need to start generating 350 faith income, apparently. So let's go to our storage building over here, because there is something that needs to be done. My high priest, when you first lit this path, we stood upon the known shores with but a small flock. Now at this sacred site where our fate solidifies, newcomers speak of dreams drawing them to us, and many more will surely come. We must enforce order and reverence through ceremonies. Please, take this knife I found at the abyss's edge. Use it to assert your authority. Take the ceremonial blade. That's creepy. Where is this going to go? Nowhere good. Let's start building the ceremony hall. Or rather, I would, but first I need a bit more eldritch favor. And this is where I need to spend some more of these planks. We shall carve another great effigy. Spend 5 more planks for 12 there. Spend another 5 for 12 there. Another 6 for 14 there. Good. Carve. A few more seconds. Complete the ritual. Tentacles come out. Grab the little statue and drag it down. Why exactly does Cthulhu care about our arts and crafts projects? I really couldn't tell you. Let's see. We've got enough points. I could get some more storage buildings, which is okay. I think I'd rather go ahead and get some corn plantations and corn cookers so that I will be able to start getting another round of zeal produced by having some better stuff here. Also, if we had a lot more faith income, we'd be able to start unlocking new tiers of things to unlock, summoning sites, and so on. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's place a ceremonial hall right next to the storage, I think, because it's picturesque and looks cool. Again, the architecture in this game actually looks pretty darn cool. I do like the look of all the buildings. But now we need to perform a ceremony in this hall, a tanning, whatever that's supposed to mean. This is where I'm going to offer a little bit of a trigger warning. That's not something I usually would do, but in this case, yeah, if you can't guess where I'm going with carving certain symbols into flesh using a knife here, maybe skip this part. What we would do with this is we're going to take certain people and we're going to say, we don't like your current specialization. We are going to carve a symbol into your flesh that changes what you're good at. Which is a little bit weird and messed up. Yep, see, this is what I'm talking about. Kind of weird and creepy, right? Now, the problem is we don't know exactly what symbols are going to make what. If you take a look at the book of symbols here, for example, let's say I wanted to have somebody who is better at making planks down over here, right? What symbol makes this? Unknown. So you're supposed to experiment by carving different symbols into the flesh of your followers in order to figure out what code works for what. Blech. So I could make like an oval pattern that would do one thing. I could probably do like just a couple of lines. I could do like a couple triangles. I don't know what's good. Let's try kind of like a V shape like this and see if this does anything for us. And then we will finish the carving, and this unlocks Iron Mine and Stonemason. Not what I expected. Okay, so now we gotta choose an interpretation so that this symbol is consistent. What do we think we're gonna want here? What happens if I dismiss this carving? What does this actually do? I don't know. I wanna try it. If I dismiss the carving, do we start over? No, we just didn't make any decisions. Well, I wasn't going to get anything useful anyway, so I'm just going to dismiss that. Now we know what that symbol does. I haven't committed someone to a specialization that's useless to me, and we have to wait 10 minutes before we can do this again. That is probably my least favorite part of the game, although it's very good and Cthulhu-ish and Lovecraftian. I get why they do it. I just personally feel a little uncomfortable by watching that, personally. But, you know, that's just me. You guys might be a little less squeamish than I am. Now, let's see. This temple only reaches this far. I'd rather reserve this area for a bit more housing. So I'm going to plan out a couple of blocks here just so I can see exactly what I'm working with. I know that this would be some dead space over here. But I'm doing that because I want to think about where I can place down things like some corn plantations and start farming. And right here seems completely reasonable. We also will need ourselves a corn cooker. Of course, the farm is also going to need a few plantations. It doesn't do anything until we place down 50 fields. So we could do something kind of like this. That should mostly work. All right, there we go. Now I just need to assign a few more people. And of course, I want to use my corn specialists. We'll also get this corn cooker up and running. I'll need to get some more people employed here, but I'm already, I think, out of workers that are free. We can see a nice little menu over here, which should show me all the workplaces and what is currently working here. So I know I have nothing in the corn cooker, which is fine. So, of course, what do? We get ourselves more houses. So we can roll the dice and hopefully get some people who are specialized. Oh god, the Harbinger's voice scares me. Your strength must ascend to rouse our slumbering lord. What do you have in mind, creepy monster man? Answer, our god wants other offerings, and we can see that there are other ships that do pass through this region of the ocean. In fact, there is another little civilization over here. We will flourish, multiply, and putrefy, and capture those lacking in vision. So this is where we kind of get a weird little war aspect to the game. So if we look over here on the map, there's one enemy ship. There's a couple more over here, and there's their settlement. Right. I'm gonna need to summon a little bit of help, aren't I? We will invoke the primordial might of our Lord's abyssal servant, Az-Athir, to extend our dominion, huh? Well, I need more eldritch favor for that. Do we got enough planks? I don't think so. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Doop, 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 do, and do. And do. That's another 38. Carve this. Yes, by the way, you can carve other statues. They just require materials that I currently do not have in excess, so we're not worrying about that right now. Cthulhu buddy, accept my offering! And with 47 Eldritch Favor, we will unlock what? There it is, the Summoning Ritual Site. That is something I want. Pick that sucker up. There's also going to be some sheeps and robes, so we could start making ourselves new things. Probably not a bad idea, to be honest. I guess I'll go ahead and unlock them just so I have that as an option for us. But for a summoning ritual site, I would need to place something here along the coast to summon the scariest things you could possibly imagine. Go ahead and place that right along here. And this is one of the things that I like the most about Lovecraftian stuff, right? When I say the scariest things you can possibly imagine, like, we're talking horrors so unspeakable your mind literally can't comprehend them, and describing it would be completely pointless and drive you to madness, right? That's the kind of stuff that always made Lovecraft so freaking fascinating to read, because people have inevitably come up with like various different art styles and stuff to represent Cthulhu. Like, we obviously have put it onto paper and we can comprehend it that way, but if you're just reading some of his old books, it really is just kind of like, it's so nebulous. It's always been fascinating to me. It's like, take the scariest thing you can think of, make it worse. In fact, it's so scary, you can't handle the truth, you know? Anyway, alright, so we need to build some pylons. We must construct additional pylons. Where are those located? Those are somewhere. It's these things. Dang it, I should not have spent all of my Eldritch Favor. I should have waited and got these pylons. I did not. Well, in the meantime, let's go ahead and get ourselves a little sheep farm over here. People have arrived at our shores. Or something's happened. Hold on, there's a group of people. Your people point towards a ship, slowly cleaving through the encroaching mist. One man who arrived on the first vessel kneels before you, assuring you that he recognizes the craft. They too were dreamers, preparing to set sail when his crew departed, with many more to follow. Suddenly he falters as something falls from the approaching ship, vanishing into the thick fog surrounding it. Let them come. Summon Az-Athir. Right, we need to do something here. Followers waves. This is letting us know about kind of basically immigration system. Every so many minutes, more people are going to be arriving. So in 1 minute, it looks like 5 more people are supposed to arrive, or something along those lines. Which is great and all, but we don't actually want the people to arrive too quickly, because if they do, we're not going to be able to keep up with their needs. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get our robe production up and running. That should boost zeal even higher. We actually got a few people who are good at working in lumber mills. Okay, I think that maybe we should consider getting ourselves another lumber mill just to boost this up, since our production seems to be slowing down a bit. And we actually are producing more wood than I actually can turn into planks. So, sure, this just makes sense. And I need as many planks as possible, or I'm not going to be able to carve more arts and crafts projects to throw into the pit. Oh, and we should go ahead and start doing a little bit more ceremonial carving. This is weird. This symbol it's saying right here, that is not at all what I carved in order to figure out if I could get stonemasons or iron mines. That is not even remotely what I carved. Hello? Let's try a couple of straight lines. Gross, 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 gross. Finish the carving. What do we get? Preservation and tomato pastes. Again, none of this is very helpful to me. Whatever, this boosts up my fanaticism just a little bit more. And we are making enough planks, we can go ahead and carve out another effigy. We're making lots of faith now, by the way. Our income is looking very solid. which is good enough for me. Let's get the pylon. I'd also like to unlock another storage facility, because we're starting to get a little too far away from our storage right now. Ooh, but it takes an Eldritch Favor in order to build one. I am one short! Dang you, Cthulhu! You couldn't like me just a little bit more? Ugh, we don't... we need to have Eldritch Favor in order to even build a pylon. I cannot construct additional pylons! What about this? The supper. Your people notify you about a family found at a dinner gathering, sitting motionless with empty eyes and faces contorted in a scream. In the middle of the table lies a matte, perfectly round sphere. So the rest of the family is unaffected. Order them to barricade the door to that room and never enter it. There's an unknown consequence. We could order to separate the remaining family members, remove and bury the others. And then we are going to, I assume, gain these things. Or... carefully move the sphere to the ritual area and hide it. Instruct the family to deal with the cursed ones. Gain Eldritch Favor. Sure, I'm willing to sacrifice a bit of fanaticism in order to gain 30 favor. That's a pretty hefty bet. Enough that I can actually start building all the other things that I wanted. So let's get some new storage, and let's place down a pylon like that. There's one pylon. All right, this is going to start increasing my faith maintenance costs by a lot, but increases the number of horrors that I can summon by 2, which means now I could actually enter into the Azathir summoning ritual site. And I have to decide what the heck I'm going to do here in order to summon Azathir. Very, very creepy. This has a certain amount of range, movement speed, firepower, damage rate, and attack rate. To do this, I would need to exalt one of my cultists. And by exalt, I'm pretty sure I mean just execute. Like this person right here. You are now considered exalted. Should we exalt another? I don't really want to, because I'd rather keep all of the people I currently have. But I guess we can afford to get rid of one of these blood drainers. Which, what does this mean exactly? Does this mean that they drain more blood or something? I don't know. We'll just go ahead and do that. So, okay, cool. That's 2 exalted people. Or, maybe I'm not understanding how this works. Hold on. They are lost and disappear from your list, but they do not count as a sacrifice. We don't have any blood. I thought maybe sacrificing people would give me blood, but apparently that is not how that works. What other monsters do we have here? A Yugothar. Okay. There's a couple of scary-looking things here. So I need to find a way to get blood. How does one get blood, besides the obvious? We need a blood drainer. Ow! Well, that makes sense, don't it? So now I actually do have a use for these people, huh? Okay. Wait, are these people formally exalted oh, I cannot retract these guys once they've been selected. That's sad. It's fine, it's fine. We'll just build some more houses. Eventually, I'm sure more blood drainers will make themselves known to us. Let's also go ahead and start crafting even more effigies. You can never have enough, right? Okay, so these guys take sheep and drain their blood. Ow! Right, so we need more sheep shoops. I was unaware of this fact. I assumed that the sheep were only used for making some clothing. That appears not to be the case. Fortunately, we produce a sheep every 15 seconds. We produce some clothing every, like, 30 seconds, so we already had a slight surplus. Cool. Drain that blood. Drain it good. This is rather disgusting, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is. And the game is telling me I can't afford to keep sacrificing people, so you need to build a beacon altar thing in order to potentially get more folks. What is this? Oh, it's this thing right here. Oh, okay. So we'll go ahead and excavate this giant ancient eldritch beacon in order to try and trick people to this island with some sort of a lighthouse, because they think that's safety. And then we jump them! And then we sacrifice them to our god, probably. We would need a little bit more favor to get ourselves the beacon altar and attract more followers. Right. Well, we can do that now. Come forth, Cthulhu buddy. There we go. Take the effigy. Seems there's another event. You approach a commotion at the force edge. Your people bring forth new emaciated figures, hunger gleaming in their eyes. As they catch sight of you, they prostrate themselves, head pressed to the earth, hands raised in supplication. They speak in an unfamiliar tongue. Your people seek to collect their blood, which is essential for summoning the horror. Yeah, we could bleed them dry and get 10 blood, but I can get that from sheep shoops. I'd rather just have 3 more people that I could put to work. Call me crazy, but waste not, want not. So the beacon doesn't cost me too much. That is a very creepy looking beacon over here. I wouldn't sail towards this lighthouse personally, but we could perform another ritual over here, and this would increase the number of people who would arrive, but I'd have to sacrifice a few things, including some cooked corn, some clams, some robes, and some planks, in order to get 1 more person. Well, I don't have any cooked corn, apparently. What's going on with our corn production, and why does it suck so much? Mostly I just don't have enough people cooking it. We have plenty of corn in storage. Now I've got 4 people working here. This goes a little faster. I need to get some people who are specialized in cooking the corn. Oh gosh, you know what this means? What if I did a big ovular thing like this? Eh? Oh, I'm so very sorry. This is gonna get demonetized. Finish the carving, preservation, and tomato paste. That's not... no. In fact, I'm pretty sure I already got this exact result when I did the 2 vertical lines. Gosh dang it. Friggin' heck, I'm not getting any of the stuff that I want right now. I'm terrible at carving symbols. I accept this. More followers just arrived. We've almost got all of the blood that I need. Now I've got what I need. All right, let's go ahead and begin the summoning. That's right, stand there, you fool. Be blind to what oh God, what horrible things are about to happen to ye. Yeah, when tentacles shoot out of your oh my God. Okay, I forgot whatever I was about to say. Seems irrelevant. The health dwindles over time. When its health points are depleted, the horror is going to perish. So once you have these things, get moving. We need to conquer and pillage inhabitants of the Black Sand Isle. We can collect materials in the water, which is great. So go grab all of this, get over here. Looks like we gain a little bit of something. I'm not sure what we're getting. And then we have to attack these ships, right? So that's fine. Go forth, attack. We got cooked corn, planks, and so on. I think we're like literally spitting bile on these things and destroying their ships. That's hilarious. Do I have a second one of these yet? Apparently not. It takes 2 people in order to summon 1. That's unfortunate. I was thinking that by sacrificing 2 people we get 2 of these things, and I am incorrect. So, let's go and introduce ourselves, the neighbors. Very important to set a strong impression, am I right? Taking a bit of damage from their defensive towers, but we can destroy their stuff nonetheless. Only takes a couple of shots in order to kill their ships. Pew, 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 pew. And then we're gonna go... whoop, it died. No, wait, what do we get? Only raise their dwellings and conquest will be complete. Apparently that thing took a lot more damage than I expected it to. But if we were to get here to this enemy dock, we would be able to start the pillaging. I don't know if I just handled that poorly or what. We've probably got some leftover people that I could sacrifice, though. Like, I don't need anybody working on ale or cows right now, do I? I also don't need this many people working on robes. Let's just go ahead and exalt a couple of them. Oh, and by the way, with the effigy of getting additional people, we could sacrifice a few things to get quite a few more people. Well, if we're going to be doing this already and sacrificing things I don't want to get rid of, we might as well just say we're in for a penny, in for a pound. Get 4 more people arriving at the beacon. Thank you, that works beautifully. Oh, frick me. Hi. So, I just entered my ceremonial hall. I clicked a button not realizing that's what it would do, and I apparently am now, in a third-person mode here. Wait, so this is me? Dude, okay, I didn't think that I was actually gonna get to walk around in my city and look at stuff. This is actually pretty freaking cool. Look at this. It's not necessary, but it's cool. Can I do that with other buildings? Let's see. No, I can't enter the temple. Boost up our zeal if we have people assigned over there, but I don't. No. Looks like I can only do that at the ceremony hall. Anyway, let's go ahead and summon ourselves another one of these horrors. We need to try pillaging those people again. That's right, jump into the water. There it is. All right, we're on the clock. Go, go, go! Let's make sure we actually destroy this tower this time around. So before we die and lose any time, gather some of this stuff up. We destroy that ceremony hall. Done, okay. Command the plunder of this land and seize it for our god. The settlement is yours. The infidels run frantically. The fires rage and the screams turn the night into the most exquisite of operas. Your followers stand ready, waiting for your words, waiting for your guidance on what to do next. You think for a while and then decide. We could cull the unworthy, which gets us some captives, and then we also gain some fanaticism. We could focus on gathering as many unfaithful as possible because we'll need to sacrifice as many as possible, or just go ahead and kill like a frick ton of them and get a lot of fanaticism. Right. I kind of want to get up to the awakened level here, and this would be one way of doing that. But we can do that with more carvings and stuff, right? Probably better just go ahead and get 20 captives. Yeah, let's do that. That's what the Harbinger said we needed. And the island falls. At this point, we now have access to sandstone, raw iron, and coal. We can also see that as we claim this island, we are going to have different effects. For example, this island's better at producing corn and sheep. Very bad at producing planks, though. Interesting. So now we destroy the entire town, and we're going to have to start from scratch over here. And I'm pretty confident this means that we're going to be able to have some logistics running between multiple different settlements. Which starts to feel a little bit like, what was it, Anno 1800? I wonder what kind of new mysteries could be found here. The game recommends now that I build a re-educator in order to, well, re-educate our captives into serving the proper god, which we could do, and that makes our zeal go up even higher. Could also start producing a bunch of different things, get some bricks, some ale. Ale made out of what? Corn? Corn ale? Who the frick wants to drink corn ale? That's disgusting. Now, if you want to build that re-educator, I'm going to need to get myself some stone bricks, which of course means that I need to get some sandstone quarries and some stone masons. Do both of those and we'll be fine. Oh, we also finished with our ritual over here, so good. The beaconing thing is done. The beacons of Cthulhu! The beacons are lit! Oh, God. Not the reaction I was expecting. Hello. Right. Okay. I guess they're gonna go find some poor saps for me and then bring them back or something. I don't know. Oh, right. You need to go find things to do before you die. Go gather up stuff. Now, you might be wondering, how do you actually transfer people around? I'm pretty sure that homeless citizens are actually shared between all of the different islands. So if you find yourself with some extra homeless citizens, just go ahead and build homes in whatever island you want, and then boom, problem solved. Let's get ourselves that sandstone quarry, which we can then assign, but I have the wrong specializations across the board over here. So I don't know if there's another clever way of sharing workers around between different work sites. There probably ought to be. Or this is where it's all the more important to make sure we are getting the correct symbols carved into the flesh of our followers. I don't know. Regardless, now we are able to start making some of our sandstone. We can turn that into bricks, and we'll be able to start re-educating people. There are also apparently ships that will be sailing nearby, and they will try to take things from me, but if we were to destroy those using a horror of Cthulhu, we'll be able to destroy their stuff first and get more captives, which could be great. In fact, now we have a goal to sink 6 enemy ships. I will have to worry about that another time. This gives you a pretty good idea how Worshippers of Cthulhu is going to work. I think we're only scratching the surface considering how much content there's clearly going to be, several different production chains to worry about, and of course a lot more appeasement to be done in order to wake up the Great Old One. It's a pretty cool idea for a game, honestly. Like, seriously, it's just like Anno meets Cthulhu. What could I not like out of this arrangement? So if this is something you guys would like to see more of, I'm certainly happy to turn this into a full series, but in the meantime, I think I'm going to end this video here. Again, there is a demo that is available, at least at the time that I am recording this video. If it's not still there, I apologize, but of course, I'll have a link in the description down below one way or another, so you can learn more about this game. Now, in the meantime, I would ask you, whoa, that's a lot of followers. I'd ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.